Blessings and welcome. In this video, I will be discussing why toxic people always target empaths. Are you an empath? Does it seem like you attract the same type of person over and over again? You know, the toxic types, the people who are very dysfunctional, the people who are extremely needy, and sometimes the people who are even pretty harmful. If that's you, this might be the video for you to watch. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why you may be attracting the toxic types of people over and over again, and why they seem to gravitate toward you. So let's get right into it. The first reason could be because you're too quick to give the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes we as empaths, I'm an empath too, sometimes we are blinded by our compassion. Having compassion for people, having empathy for people, sympathy for people is actually a very good thing. But sometimes as empaths, because we feel so strongly and we're able to sense energy and to sense people's moods and emotions, and we feel it on a very deep level, sometimes the compassion that we have for certain people, it can put on blinders, and we can sometimes miss the obvious red flags and the signs that a person might be playing a game with us. We sometimes can miss the obvious signs of manipulation, believe it or not. Even though we're highly sensitive people, we may not see the insecurities or the person's deep wounds, and we may not even see whether or not this person is open to changing, especially if they have issues. So when we sense that overwhelming feeling that something might be wrong with someone, and we kind of like go into the mode of, oh geez, I have to help this person, or what's going on here. And sometimes we can be a little bit over analytical with the situation, trying to get the backstory of why a person might be behaving that the way that they behave. As an empath, I want you to take a step back and try to get an overall picture and get more information before you lean in and before you engage with the person. I mean, the person could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a coworker, it could be a neighbor, it could be someone that you might do business with, or an acquaintance you might know. Whoever it is, I just want you to just take a step back before you engage and try to get more information, because if you're an empath, there's more information for you to gather and to learn, and then you'll be able to get a better picture of what's going on, and then you won't just be blinded by the compassion that you might feel for the person, because as we get more information about a person or a situation, then we're better able to make good judgments and see the things that could be problematic. And sometimes it might not be for us to even engage with a person in a certain way, but just give it some time. Give it some time. So yeah, there is definite power in the pause and not trying to just immediately engage with certain people. So just take a step back, take a pause, and more information will come to you. But don't off the bat just, give the person the benefit of the doubt and jump all in and be all in with the person. You picked up whatever you picked up, whatever energy, whatever situation, you sensed it. Just take a few minutes, take some time, and evaluate, try to figure out what's going on with this person's character, what's going on in the person's life before you truly engage. And, that's how we get wrapped up and tied up sometimes in bad situations with people, because we're too quick to engage, and we don't get enough information, and we don't let enough time pass before we deal with certain people, because we feel that instant pull toward them, and we get the overwhelming sensation, oh, this is a bad thing that this person is going through. What can I do to help? That's a good thing, but be wise and give it time. Number two, the second reason is we are by nature, most of us empaths, we're good people. We're good people. Most of us are. Most of us are, right? And we want to help people. So we tend to be the fixers and the helpers. And that can be problematic, especially when you're dealing with a toxic and dysfunctional person. And we do have a lot of compassion, as I mentioned earlier. But we have to separate that compassion from responsibility, right? It's not always for us to jump in and try to fix situations. So the thing with us empaths, especially if we're an empath that is highly sensitive, that's also a seer and may have a prophetic gift. Some of us, it's so deep where we can see the past, present, and future. For us, it's so deep that we can sense what's going on with the person to a T, and we can sense what's going to happen. If you're that type, if you happen to be an empath that's also a seer or may have a prophetic gift, this is what I want you to do. I want you to pray. I want you to pray. And also what I mentioned earlier, take a step back, let some time pass. I want you to pray because it might not be for you just because you sensed what you sensed, whatever energy or maybe vision or thing that you picked up in the spirit realm about that person. Just because you sensed it, it does not mean that you need to try to fix that person's problem. And when you're dealing with a toxic person or someone who's highly dysfunctional, yeah, they will dump all of their issues onto you and just let you do all the work. And for certain people, they need to figure things out for themselves. So sometimes, even though you might be picking up on certain things about a person, it might not even be for you to tell them or even to engage with them. And I had to learn this the hard way as an empath who also happens to be a seer, who also happens to have a prophetic gift. So I would say 95% of the time, I pick up things about people and about situations all the time. Sometimes I could see what happened way back in the past. I could see sometimes what was happening now. I could see sometimes what's going to happen in the future. And it's usually always accurate, but it might not be for me to help that person out, you know, in that particular situation, although I may have the answers for them. Although I may have divine insight that God gave me, God might tell me through prayer, and that's why it's important for you to pray, to hold that information or not give it to them at all, just for you, maybe just pray for that person. So it's a good idea to not just jump in once again. It's not for us to fix everything and to be responsible for everybody's problems, right? Although you might clearly be able to see what the issue is. Sometimes people may come to us and they might be struggling with something and they might not have clarity on what the problem is. And because you're highly sensitive and you can pick it up, you may be able to see it very clear. Sometimes when you tell people certain things about themselves or about their situation, especially if they're complaining about something, they might not receive it well when you tell them, right? They might not want to know right away, right? And if you're, once again, if you're dealing with a toxic individual, they're going to take advantage, right? And they're going to dump all their issues and problems onto you. And since we tend to be the fixers, they're going to leave it to you to fix, right? And that might not be where you should be directing your energy to. You have to protect your energy as well. We have a life force energy, and us empaths, we tend to get drained pretty quickly because we absorb a lot throughout the day. So we have to be very strategic as to where we direct our energy so we don't get, wiped out and drained. So yeah, if we need to know whether or not it's for us to help a person, pray for a person, or not engage at all. And that comes through prayer. So as an empath, it's very important for you to be prayerful as well, especially when we're naturally inclined, most of us, to be the fixers and helpers, right? Because we have the information and the insight, and we can see things that other people usually can't see. So, but it's not for us to fix everything. Sometimes it's up to us to mind our own business, right? And just pray for the person, right? Or not try to immediately jump in. So we can be very much taken advantage of by the toxic types of people, and they gravitate to us because we tend to listen a lot, and we tend to offer solutions at times, and we want to, we don't enjoy, for the most part, seeing people suffer, and we want to make it stop, right? We want to help people out, right? And but people who aren't emotionally or well on the inside, they may see that differently, and they may see it as a means to manipulate and to take more than they should from you. So be careful with that. You can be a fixer, but know when to fix, right? And know when to help, right? Because some people, they'll take advantage of your help. They'll monopolize all of your time, and that's why we tend to attract these sorts of people sometimes. So that's number 2. Number 3, we have poor boundaries, believe it or not. Sometimes empaths can have poor boundaries, believe it or not. And, we, like I said before, we genuinely, for the most part, not all of us, but most of us, I think, we want to help people. We want to help them to heal, and we like to see people succeed, right? And it makes us feel good when people come to us, and, especially when they talk to us and they feel seen and understood, right? So we have that ability to make people feel seen and understood. And that's a beautiful thing, especially in this world today where people don't feel seen and people don't feel understood. But we have that gift to let people feel that way, and that's a beautiful thing. But we have to put boundaries on that. We have to put boundaries with our time and our energy, right? Because the toxic types of people, they will take advantage of that generosity, right? So you giving a listening ear, you giving resources, you providing solutions, you helping people to fix things, right, in their lives, or just giving good advice. That's a form of generosity, and there are people out there who will take advantage of your generosity, right? The toxic types of people, they love attention. A lot of them love attention, especially the narcissist, right? They love attention. They love the support that we give. They love, for them, that's validation, right? But the problem with the toxic types of people is that they'll never reciprocate. Right. So just by our nature, we're going to, attract a lot of these types of people. And that's why it's important for us to be prayerful. It's important for us to take a pause when dealing with with a person, and be able to be intuitive within ourselves, and ask the question to God, and be able to sense within ourselves whether or not we should be dealing with certain people. Although we may feel deeply for them and feel bad about their situation, it might not be for us to deal with them. So we do have to draw a boundary line there, and especially if you see that a person is a taker, especially when you see that there's no reciprocity. Sometimes in certain situations, we are to deal with people for a limited amount of time, and it's not for us to have this long drawn out relationship with them, or a relationship with them at all, right? Sometimes, we are sent into people's lives, or people come into our paths, and it's just for us to help them in a particular situation, and we might not even see them again, right? But if you're dealing with a person, especially if it's like family or someone you have to see on a regular basis, or deal with on a regular basis, and unfortunately, sometimes those of us who are closest to us are not healthy people all the time. They may take advantage, and they may be toxic, right? So when you don't see the reciprocity, and you find that they're really taking advantage of your generosity, you got to draw that boundary, and make it be known, this is what I'm willing to do, and what I won't do, right? And sometimes you don't have to always verbalize it and make it verbal, but you have to make it clear, and protect your energy, and be peaceful about it, right? Protect your energy. be peaceful and let people know, speak up for yourself that, yeah, this is as much as I'm going to do. Right. Or sometimes I'm not going to do it at all. No is a complete sentence as well. So make sure you have boundaries with people. Make sure that you step back and really observe and get more information, especially when you feel that overwhelming compassion for a person or for a thing or even for a cause, right? Know that we are naturally inclined to be the fixers and helpers, right? And people can sometimes take advantage of that, but just know when to roll up your sleeves and when to leave people alone and mind your business, right? So and sometimes, we're well-meaning people most of the time, but we have to be protective of our energy and know when to engage and not to engage. So that's why toxic people tend to target us. Is because we're the fixers and the helpers, and we're the ones who are giving the listening ear. We're the ones who are helping all of the time, right? But you got to put a boundary on that, and when you put the boundary on it, it will help you a lot in life. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope it's been helpful to you. Take care. God bless. And I will see you in the next one.